What we found in your room justified all our fears. How long have you been reading these horrid books?
That old black magic has lit.
That's right.
That old black magic
Madness has closed your eyes.
The door opened, as though being pulled by some unknown force.
It's the start of a new year that's fast approaching, according to the Gregorian calendar anyway. Now is the time that I like to start setting goals and new intentions, and truth be told, I start thinking about these new goals and intentions way back in like October. I don't know why. There's just something about being so close to Samhain that just makes me feel like now is a good time to start a reset and start thinking about everything. But I give myself the deadline until the very end of the year to get all my goals and intentions set down onto paper. For most of this year, the pandemic has obviously ruled and affected a lot of our lives. And for me, more than anything, it's that loss of routine. It's that loss of having control over certain aspects of my life. And so daily routines and self-care ended up becoming my theme unintentionally throughout the year. I don't know how well you can see this paper, but I'm just going to note down the 3 things that I want to focus on for 2021. The very first thing, obviously, continuing on for this year, would be the notion of self-care and daily rituals. Hopefully you can see that. This was just paper I used from a failed art project that I was working on, so hopefully you can see that. The next main thing would be to finish at least one of my novels. And by finish, I mean get it into the editing stage so it's ready to be heavily edited. And then hopefully by the end of next year, I can then start sending it out to critique partners and editors and whatnot before I even consider going for traditional publication. Yes, it's going to be one of those urban fantasy novels about witches. If you want to know a little bit more about the writing process, or at least my writing channel, I'll put links to my author channel down below. The next goal that I want to focus on is generally just being more spiritual. So reading more scripture, connecting more with deities, so I've put here connecting with the Nietzsche, and growing as a wise person. Normally, I like to pick just one word of the year, and I'd already picked it a few months back. And that word, as I've just said, is manifestation. So hopefully that makes sense. Now, the idea of the word of the year, I don't remember where I got it from. I think I read it in an article some years ago, and the person who had written the article basically just said, just think of a word. It might take a few minutes, a few days, a few hours, a few weeks to find this word, and then set that as your word for the year. You're then supposed to put that word on your vision board and then leave it somewhere very visible that you can always see it every single time you happen to run into it. While it's good to just have one word, I think with everything going on in my life right now, Manifestation is the one thing that I'm going to be focusing on as being the umbrella term for everything that I want to do. I want to manifest better habits. I want to manifest better time, like being able to sort of like manifest better time management. I want to manifest a new job. I want to manifest more money. I want to manifest more creativity so I'm able to finish at least one of my novels, which I'm very close to finishing, thankfully. At the same time, I also want to manifest home life, family life. I want to manifest health. I want to be able to manifest a baby for myself and my husband. I want to manifest anything positive or any vital and essential changes that I need in my life to come to me when they see fit so that I can work through them and learn from those lessons. It's important for me to be able to do that. But there are a few other words that I want to put underneath the word of manifestation. So, for example, self-care, daily rituals, scripture, that sort of thing. So, I don't know. Manifestation just seems to be the one thing that I'm going to be focusing on mostly for 2021. Up on the screen, you can see some of the daily rituals that I like to perform for myself. I don't do them absolutely every single day, otherwise that would just tire me out before midday and that would just be kind of reckless and kind of goes against the essence of doing daily rituals. But I do like to pick and choose them as and when I see fit, as and when it seems more applicable. And I also like to plan certain daily rituals according to the position of the sun and the moon and other aspects of the astrological zodiac houses. Maintaining control through the use of daily rituals. As you've seen, some of the daily rituals are magical and others are non-magical, is important for maintaining good mental health for myself. The big thing about mental health for me and self-care has been something that I've been working on for the past year, as you guys have just heard. It's also a big part of the experience that I'm having moved to Canada for the first time in my whole life. I've moved to a different country by myself. I'm used to moving to different countries with family, but this time I did it by myself in order to be with my husband of 6 years. There has been a lot of positives. There's been a lot of negatives that's also happened and occurred throughout the last year and a bit. The main thing that has really rocked our boat, I guess you could say, is how we've managed to somehow survive throughout this pandemic. It's been a tough year for a lot of people. It's been really dangerous for a lot of others. And for the rest of us who are thankfully okay, it's just been creating nothing but havoc in our lives. Unable to work, unable to make money and pay for bills and worry about finances and all that sort of stuff. It's really affected us. And as you can imagine, being an immigrant, I have no way of getting any help from anyone or anything, anywhere, anytime. I'm stuck. At the same time, these were supposed to be the 2 years where I was supposed to get out, find different jobs, meet new people, make new friends, and start building up new networks. I've been able to do absolutely zero of that. And it's been quite difficult, but somehow I've managed to plow through and keep myself focused. Mostly bringing everything back to its spiritual essence. I've been able to focus on working out, meditating, doing Liber Resh, working on new rituals, working magic with my husband, which has actually been quite a cool experience so far, and I want to do more of that with him. But other than that, just having regular human contact with other people has been really difficult. So I want to be able to manifest all of that positivity into my life. I want to manifest good habits into my life, especially as soon as the pandemic is over. So as far as I'm concerned, 2021 doesn't start until the pandemic is over for the most part. So that could be, I'm hoping it'll be like the beginning of spring next year, but who knows at this point. It means I have a little bit more time to get back to the basics and start reworking and rehashing my old routines and habits, and then trying to bring them forward into the new year. Manifestation is important for me. But other than manifestation, it's the notion of having good mental health. So that'll be something, like I said, that will just continue on as it has done so far throughout my entire life. Having better time management and control over my scheduling, that was something that went completely out of the window for me this year. So I want to focus more on that. Being able to sit down with religious texts and really focus on meditating on sacred scripture a lot more than I have been, the way that I used to do it when I was a child. And ultimately, it's about being human. It's okay to have failures and frailties every so often. It's okay to not find myself not practicing a form of one of my daily rituals absolutely every single day, or performing up to 4 of them like I intended to do a few years ago. It's okay to just be human and just to have a moment of crying or just letting things out or just having a lazy day. With the Kemetic calendar, there are actually designated days where you are supposed to rest. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're supposed to just give up on your rituals completely and blah, blah, blah. But having spent the last 10 days in a Kemetic week, having done fasting, having done rituals, having done celebrating certain holy days and deity birthdays and things like that, it is okay to have one day where you don't need to do a great deal of all of that stuff. And a lot of people that I have spoken to have said they found that time, or at least that day, just means it's just their weekend. It's just them. They can wake up in the morning, they can do their morning rituals, they can do whatever they want for the rest of the day. And then at nighttime, they just have to do their nighttime rituals and go to bed. Or other times, they put out offerings and don't do any incantations whatsoever. So as far as manifestation is concerned, I want to bring in more routines, more habits, more goals, so that I have a lot more flexibility and versatility with my magical practice and my lifestyle. The two of them are basically one for me. They're not one or the other, it's the base, it's the main thing for me. My lifestyle is magical, my magical life is a lifestyle. So, I don't know what 2021 is going to bring. I've gotten to a point now where I feel like I don't particularly want to set too many goals because, like I said, setting a goal can also be kind of destructive in some way because you'll be setting up this to-do list that you'll need to pressure yourself in order to try and complete and tick off. I don't particularly like to do that, so I want to change out the word goals for something else, which is why I'm using the term good intentions and good habits instead. I don't know what 2021 is going to bring. This is the first time in my life where I feel like I don't actually see what's on the other end of the horizon. I cannot see what's going to be in front of me. I'm in a new country. I'm in a new sort of position in my life, and I'm very thankful for that. I'm also learning a great deal about what it means to be a newlywed and a wife. I'm so grateful of all the good things that are happening to me right now and have happened to me this year throughout all the bad that's been happening, that I just want to continue doing that. And all of that will be part of my form and practice of manifestation that I'll be focusing on for next year. So yeah, word of the year, manifestation. Subwords, being human. Having a better mind, body, and soul for myself. And if I can attain all of that, I'll be able to get back to reclaiming even more of my spiritual life. Thank you for watching. Have a good year. Hotep.